Hey, this is Bill. How you doing? Well, it's Labor Day weekend, and that means you need to start thinking about Oregon Tech Hustlin basketball. I hope everybody had a great summer. I can't wait to see everybody down in Danny Miles Court. What we're going to do today, we're just going to go through, what's the lineup. We're going to talk about our tournament, talk a little about the schedule, really just kind of get the juices flowing. Remind you that Oregon Tech basketball is coming very quickly. But two things before we start. Number one, if you have season tickets, you sure you got an email this week. Make sure you answer that. Renew your tickets. You don't want to lose them. I think you have a couple weeks to do it, but don't put it off. Second thing is if you want to buy tickets, those tickets go on sale. Check OregonTechOwls.com. Yeah, the great website. The Oregon Tech has redone it. And they will tell you exactly when those tickets go on sale. Get your season tickets this season. It's going to be a great year. This team is loaded up with juniors. We're going to talk about that here in a second. First thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to talk about the Cascade Conference Crossroads League Challenge Tournament. And if things will agree with me here, it's one of the top tournaments to come to Oregon Tech. Let's take a look. November 3rd and 4th, right there in Danny Miles Court. Again, 3rd and 4th, pack the gym. Pack Danny's house. This is the Mount Rushmore of NAIA basketball. It's been said by many people. Because look at who's here from the Crossroads League. You got Grace and Bethel, two historic programs, two power programs. And from the Cascade, of course, Oregon Tech, and then Bushnell out of Eugene. 7 NAIA national championships, 45 conference championships. The Grace Lancers, they're a powerhouse. They went to the top 8 last year. They lost one player. They are a very, very good team. They've made Kansas City the last 2 years. Of course, Bethel, 3 national championships. They won the NCCAA tournament last year, and they beat Oregon Tech in the championship in '98. And no, Draven, we haven't forgiven you. The Bushnell Beacons, they're coming down. They're the old Northwest Christian. Long, storied basketball history up there. And then, of course, your Oregon Tech Hustlin' Owls, 3-time national champion. Of course, they were the runners-up in 2019, as well as 1998, November 3rd and 4th. Remember, pack Danny's house. Let's show everybody what Oregon Tech Hustlin' Owl basketball is all about. November 3rd and 4th. We're going to start real quick with a quick review of the coaching staff. Of course, we have Coach Parnell coming back. He's going into his 8th year as the head coach of the Hustlin' Owls. 143 career wins. That's 20 wins per season. You got to remember, too, there was one COVID year in there where Oregon Tech only played 9 games. So pretty impressive. 7 out of 10 times the Hustlin' Owls take the floor. They come out victorious under Coach Parnell. Mitchell Fink, of course, will be back as assistant for his 2nd season. Did a great job last year. Really, really happy to see Mitch Fink on the bench over there. And then Paul Poach, he's returning from a successful mission as the interim women's coach. Wow, what a job Coach Paul Poach did with the women last season, but he's back on the men's side. And then we have Kyson Faust, of course, a familiar face, graduated last season. He's going to be on the bench for the Hustlin' Owls as well. It'll be great to see him. So let's talk about, there's a lot of new guys coming in, but this team is going to be very junior heavy. A lot more experience than what we had last year. I think you're going to see a difference in the play, but let's just walk through it. Cody Bauman, he's 6'7" out of Mount Shasta. He's the only senior on the team this season. The Owls are really going to look to him for leadership. Of course, he's a strong guy, dominant in the middle, one of the best off-the-block post-up guys we've ever seen at Oregon Tech. You look for this season. Look for the coaches to work with him, and they're going to expect him to stay out of foul trouble this year. They need him 30 minutes on the court. And then another thing is when he gets that ball on the block, the coaches are going to look to him to make a little quicker decision before that double team comes. And one more thing, rebounding, the coaches will expect him, I'm sure, to get that ball out quickly. He's a very, very good rebounder, but he, along with Blake Jensen, two of the toughest guys in the Cascade. Blake Jensen, 6'7" out of Sherwood. Everybody knows he really came into his own in the second half of last season. He's one of the toughest guys in the conference. He's going to be fighting for that crown this season, battling Jake O'Neal, the tough guy out of College, Idaho, who has proudly wore that crown the last couple seasons. But Blake and Cody really need to lock down the middle, give the guards and the wings room to shoot and operate, and then they need to kick that ball out quickly, get that ball to Guerrero, who we'll talk about in a moment, get up the court and run. Well, Keegan Shivers, obviously big fan favorite. He's coming back, a junior, 6'5" out of Wilsonville. You know, Keegan, he can shoot, penetrate, rebound. He's one of the most underrated rebounders in the league. You know, last year with all the team injuries, Keegan found himself just blanketed. You guys saw it as fans. There was a lot of times, boy, he just couldn't get free for anything. And, you know, it really made it tough for him. But this season, with the injuries cured, the Owls will have a lot more offensive weapons. And look for Keegan to have a breakout year. He's a junior this season. He's an excellent basketball player. And in my experience, junior season is when guys really, really have that breakout year. Eric Frazier, man, it'll be so nice to get Eric back. He, of course, went down in that Warner Pack game up in Portland last season. 6'4" out of Grant, PIL. We got a couple more PIL guys coming, too. I'll tell you about that. But Eric is a strong guy, quick defender. A lot of guys in the league, only Eric could guard him. He solved a lot of matchup problems for us. Eric has probably one of the best jump shots. I'm trying to think of the right word, but it's a pure jump shot. He really gets up in the air. He elevates. He shoots the three from above his head. Very hard to guard. He's 6'4", and then he gets that ball up above his head, and he elevates high. So he's definitely a threat. But if guys try to come out on him too fast, he'll go to the rim on him, and he's not afraid to mix it up there in the middle. Be very, very nice to have Eric Frazier back next season. Cam Osborne, another guy who's been around a couple years. He's a junior, 6 foot out of Vancouver. You know, Cam had some injuries, got nicked up a little bit toward the end of last season. That really hurt the Owls. Offensively, Cam is probably the most explosive offensive player the Owls have. He'll probably move to the 2 this season with Cam pretty much, or with Jameson Guerrero pretty much solidifying himself as the point. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I think that's a good thing for Cam Osborne. I think that, it's my opinion, as an NAI player, he's a little more suited to the 2. He needs room to roam. He does a good job of using the baseline, moving around, getting open. And he can beat you with the jump shot, or he can penetrate. And if he gets the ball down on the baseline, he'll just jump up and jam it. So he needs to be able to prowl and cause chaos for the defense, where if he's the point guard, they just stand there and wait for him. So look for Cam to really open up and have a good offensive year this season. We talked about Jameson Guerrero, 6 foot out of Sherwood, another junior. Team is loaded with juniors. You know, Jameson really came into his own second half last season. His career, or his assist turnover ratio, was one of the best in the conference in the second half of the season. His penetration became very effective. You saw shades of Mitchell Fink in a lot of it, where he'd get inside, just like in this picture right here, and 2-3 guys surround him, and you see Jameson pivot 2-3 times and then lay the ball up. And I've talked to a lot of defenders who've defended him, and it is very frustrating when a little guy gets inside in the paint and he lays the ball up on you when you're 6'7", 6'8". So, you know, Jameson's going to have a great year at point guard. He's going to have another time through the conference, really getting comfortable in that role. A couple things the coaches are going to look for him to improve his 3-point shooting. That'll free up the perimeter for him. Also, look for Jameson to push that ball. When the big guys get the rebound, they got to kick it out. They got to get it to Jay, and he's got to take off. And he's got to be the captain of that ship, and he's got to push guys down the court fast. So look for that from Jamison this season. Jay Elmore, 6'1" out of Eugene. You know, as a high school player, junior college guy, and at prep school, Jay Elmore's known as a shooter. This guy can shoot the ball. I know that he struggled a little bit last season. But you know, I just got to tell fans, it's not that unusual for a shooter to come into the Cascade Conference and his first time through the conference struggle shooting. NAI players are quick, they're fast, they close out really, really quickly, and it's hard to get used to. I expect Jay now coming in as a junior. He's going to shoot with a lot more confidence. He knows what's coming at him. And look for him. Honestly, look for him. He's going to light it up. Jay Elmore might be a very important piece to this team. Grant Tull, he's a sophomore. Everybody knows who Grant is. His two sisters played on the women's team. Maddie graduated, but his twin is still on the women's team. Grant Tull's a very gifted basketball player. Very smooth with the ball, strong, shoots a good three-pointer. The coaches are going to look to him to slow the game down for himself. He gets ahead of the game a little bit, and then also to be just a bit more consistent on the defensive end. But he is a very skilled basketball player, and he could be a big part of this team this season. Couple redshirt freshmen you probably saw around the court last season. Logan the Bay, he's from Wilsonville, another one of that Wilsonville connection. He's really smooth. He's quick. He's big. You cannot coach 6'10". I think the fans are going to like him. He's going to be very important to Oregon Tech. You can never have enough good big guys, and he'll definitely get some minutes. Garrett Osborne, the guy on the bottom there, he's out of Redmond. This guy, he's going to be a fan favorite. He loves to get to the rim. He loves to run the court. High energy guy, and I tell you, fans are going to love that guy. A lot of energy, loves to run the court. That's what Oregon Tech basketball is all about. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the incoming freshmen. You can see there's several here. We already talked about Logan and Garrett. But before we do that, we're going to talk about Dakota Reber. He's by no means a freshman. He's transferred from Warner Pacific up in Portland. He's another one of those Wilson guys. Boy, Oregon Tech has really, really done well with the Wilsonville guys, haven't they? So Dakota, he played with Keegan Shivers at Wilsonville, and right out of high school, he went to Incarnate Word, played D1 ball. Very talented ball player. He came home. He wanted to come back. He ended up playing up at Warner Pacific, and now he's got 2 years of eligibility left, and he's at Oregon Tech now. He is going to have to sit out this season. That's a league rule because you change teams within the conference, but that'll give him a chance to get settled in with the Oregon Tech system, and boy, the fans are going to love this guy. He's 6'6". He can shoot the three. He can rebound. A very, very talented basketball player. If you see Dakota around, go up and say hi to him. Welcome into Klamath Falls. Welcome into Oregon Tech. I've interviewed him a couple of times when he was with Warner Pack. Very, very nice guy. And I think fans are really going to like this guy, and I think he's going to love Oregon Tech. So, let's start with the freshmen. A couple guys we got out of Cleveland. One of them was Jackson Cooper, 6'7", 6A All-State. Cleveland won the PIL this season. Very good team. And they went to the second round of the state tournament. Jackson Cooper, he likes to run the court. High energy guy, strong. I think that I just think fans are really going to like the way he plays. Just remember with all these freshmen that they're freshmen. You don't know how many minutes they will or won't get. We don't know who may or may not redshirt. But Jackson Cooper, if he puts the work in, he's got the skill set where he could get some minutes this season. Another guy, he's out of Camas. He played at Union High School. Yanni Facilis. He's quick. He's a big scorer. You can see he averaged 25 points a game in high school, 91 steals, very athletic, flies to the basket. Talked to a few guys about him. One word came up multiple times: finisher. The guy gets to the rim and finishes. He should certainly fit in with Oregon Tech with that style, running the lanes. And when you run the lanes, you gotta get to the rim and you gotta finish. The other Cleveland guy, Sean Chris Tresvant, they call him SC, 6'1", out of Cleveland. Again, they were PIL champions. I was able to watch both him and Jackson Cooper at the Les Schwab Invitational. Sean Chris he could possibly turn out to be the best on-ball defender at Oregon Tech. He can really, think of it, if you use a hockey term, he can really stand him up at the blue line. I mean, he can pick up at half court and just shut him down. The second thing is he reminded me a little bit of Mitch Fink at the end of the game. I'm trying to remember the details, but I think Cleveland was down 3 or 4 points, but he caused a couple of turnovers, made some difficult shots, and Cleveland came out victorious. But at the end of the game, he wants the ball, and he can definitely steal it, and he can definitely score. Jared Sucher, he's 6'4" out of Sherwood. So 2 schools Oregon Tech really has that connection with, Wilsonville and Sherwood. Jared, big part of their Pacific Conference title team, made it to the state tournament. He was all conference and all state, 6A. I haven't had the opportunity to see him play, but he's very athletic, and he averaged 14 points with Sherwood. The word on the street is this guy is a very good basketball player. And then Scotty Riddle, 6'1", out of Gresham. Boy, do I know that name? Is that what you're asking yourself? Obviously his dad played at Oregon Tech, won a national championship, I believe, in 2008. But Scotty Riddle is coming in as his own man. Great basketball player out of Gresham. 2 words I hear about him all the time is good defender, tough nose. So again, just a reminder, with all these freshmen, they all have a lot of upside, but it takes a little while to really grasp the college game, and so be patient with them. But this is a great class coming in. One other thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know if you saw the news, you probably did. Joey Potts got a contract to go play European ball over in Romania. Joey, one of the nicest guys ever to play Oregon Tech basketball. Really good guy. Very happy for you, Joey. It is not easy to get a pro contract to go over and play in Europe. People think, I'll just go play in Europe. No, it's tough to get that contract. And so, we wish Joey all the luck in the world, and we're rooting for you, Joey. Thank you very much for your time at Oregon Tech. Why don't we go ahead and I'm going to look at the schedule here, if I can get everything to cooperate with me. So let's take a quick look at Oregon Tech's schedule. Of course, they're going to play an exhibition game October 21st. That's against Seattle Mountaineers. And then October 26th, it's a Thursday. That's the first that's the first counting game against Simpson. If you're thinking, well, I think I might just pass up on this Thursday night game at Simpson. No, you need to get to Danny Miles Court. Oregon Tech has played Simpson many, many, many times. I don't even know how many. A lot over the past 20, 30 years. And Simpson has never beat Oregon Tech. And believe me, trust me, Simpson knows it. And as soon as the schedules come up, that is a game they circle. Get to Oregon Tech Thursday, October 26th, because Simpson's going to bring it, I guarantee you. And then after that, on November 3rd and 4th, we have our tournament. On Friday night, Oregon Tech will play Bethel. On Saturday night, Oregon Tech will play Grace. 2 of the best programs in the country. If you bring your friends, bring your family. I mean, this is what a treat this is. These are going to be four of the best basketball teams in the country. And then after that tournament, the Owls, they head down to Jessup. It's their last year in the NAI. And that is a tough trip. That is a tough place to play. And then they go to Ottawa, Arizona, OUAZ. Oh, yeah, that'll be easy. They only made the Final Four last year. And then they go to Embry-Riddle. Then as soon as they come back home on December 1st, easy street. They're going to play Eastern and College of Idaho. So the schedule next year is no gimme. It's going to be definitely tough. Let's take a look real quick at the if I can get it to work for me again. These are last year's standings, so I just wanted to touch on this and talk just a little bit about the league. So obviously, College of Idaho, they're the defending national champion. They're going to be ranked number one preseason, no doubt. But if you look at the rest of these teams, Eastern, Southern, Warner Pack, and Corbin, those four, they're all great programs, and they're going to have good teams. They will have good teams, but they're all losing a lot of guys. Like Southern Oregon's losing all 4 of their 5 starters. They're all losing significantly to graduation. So they're going to be an unknown quantity coming into the season, but I guarantee you they're going to be tough. The team to really watch for, in my opinion, is LC State. Coach Johnson over there has went out and recruited pretty heavy. They went strong into the JCs. He's bringing in guys. He's playing for today. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to be far, far, far better than they have been. Multnomah, look for them to improve. Just up and down. Bushnell, I talked to Eddie there. Bushnell, he's expecting to have a much better team. I think the Cascade Conference had a little bit of a down year last year with the exception of College Idaho, but really look for them to really look for the conference to, I guess what I'm trying to say is to rebound this season. We'll talk more about the conference once the conference ratings come out. So hang on. So make sure that you get your season tickets. Go to OregonTechOwls.com. Support the Owls. And I'll see everybody in Danny Miles Court in October. And until then, go Tech.